And Obama had bombed Libya and destroyed Gaddafi. And the Moriartys were Americans that were there, and they got out by the skin of their teeth. They had a website, The Libyan Truth, and they were beloved by the tribes of Libya. They exposed all the CIA, Saudi Arabian, Qatar operations that were behind this, and they were targeted by the CIA. They got out by a Russian trawler, and they got back to the U.S., and they were persecuted by the CIA and the FBI ever since. Glenn Beck and all of these people kind of turned their back against them. They were blacklisted. They had drugs planted on their car that miraculously disappeared. So the FBI had set up all sorts of sting operations against them. And General Michael Flynn, who had been in the military, DIA, he was general. And let me augment that real quick. When I was thrown in prison by Obama and Biden and Eric Holder and Lanny Breuer for exposing the shell game of Swiss banks that were being used to money launder for the Clinton Foundation and the Clinton State Department in exchange for benefits given to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Mauritania, Morocco, and the rest of these countries. And it's in the book Shell Game. That's my report. People can go to shellgamewhistleblower.com. I'm sure Carrie will have a link up there. But I wrote that report with human intelligence. Snowden was a colleague of mine at Booz Allen Hamilton at the time. Snowden had been working with a human intelligence asset that helped me put that together, Brad Birkenfeld. Assange was involved with this by providing WikiLeaks cables. All of this material went to General Flynn at DIA, James Mattis at U.S. Central Command, a variety of senior officers at U.S. Civil Affairs Psychological Operations Command, as well as the House and Senate Armed Services Committee, Intelligence Committee, Foreign Affairs Committee, Banking Committee, Homeland Security Committee. It went to everybody and anyone. It went to Mitt Romney. It went to Brent Priebus. It went to the Republican National Committee, on and on and on. And this report was one of the reasons Snowden left the country. It was also one of the reasons why Eric Holder and Lanny Breuer stepped down from the Department of Justice, because they had been caught red-handed giving a financial benefit to their previous employer, Covington and Burling, and UBS and these other countries. So that was the beginning of this spider's web, if you will, was Shell Game being sent back in 2012, which was my report as a military officer. White Hats had directed me in to get the material and report it, and I did. And it had gone to General Flynn as well, and it bounced around, and all sorts of other things started happening and popping off. And this got me to a conference in 2018, and I'll kind of skip forward. And in this conference, the Moriartys were there. General Flynn had a role in, describing the Moriarty saga and how they had been blacklisted and blackballed by the intelligence community. Soft killed was how General Flynn described it to, I think it was Congressman Pete Sessions out of Texas. And he didn't do anything to help the Moriartys, which I find kind of profoundly cowardly. But most of the people above the rank or colonel aren't real leaders and warriors; they're politicians, and that's okay to a certain degree. But that's where the Moriartys fit in at this conference, and Flynn's connection to them. Also at this conference were a variety of other people that I came to discover later were somewhat nefarious and somewhat suspicious. Jason Goodman of Crowdsourced the Truth, who I'd been informed was a Mossad deep state agent. Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer, who was a self-described operator, and I found some very disturbing things about him, and the Moriartys did too. General Flynn's brother was there, Sidney Powell was there, and a whole bunch of other people. So I was there to lecture on Shell Game. And I had approached General Flynn's brother, Joseph Flynn, and said, listen, your brother is being represented by a law firm, Covington and Burling, which is in my book, Shell Game, which was one of the partners of the Clinton Foundation in the deep state Clinton State Department, Obama, Biden racketeering money laundering operation. And General Flynn is being represented by them. He can't be represented by them because they are an enemy. They're working against him. And I gave this also to Sidney Powell, and I sent you that link of the video where I'm sitting at a round table and I disclosed this. This is before Sidney was his lawyer at all. She was there to press her book, License to Lie. And I said, look, General Flynn is being represented by a law firm that's betraying him, Covington and Burling. And I lay out the whole background with them. I lay out UBS, and